live here. Let's see. Let me get these items started. Oh, where's my third packet? Here we are. Scallions. Mimi, can you give me a permanent marker, Mimi?
Sure.
I need a permanent marker. Thank you. Hello, we're gonna do onion planting today. Let's see, where's my key? Get my gloves on. Thank you, Bobby. Hello. Thank you. Hi, Erin. Hi, Jackie. Planting onions today. Sorry, Erin, this is more specific. I'm not sure how the UK would work with the seasons, but I just know that now is the time that we will be planting onions from seed. Hang on. Onions from seed. Onions, we would do short date onions here in North Texas. And if you guys didn't know, this is what this is. Getting the dirt out of here. Short day onions just means that we need short days in the wintertime. Wait, I forget what it's called. In the north, you need to have, in the northern US, where the days are currently even shorter, you need long day onions. Whereas in the south part, we need short day onions. So that's what I'm planting today. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm trying my nifty little thing. So the thing about onions that I learned is that you can have them initially planted really closely together. They look like this. Maybe we'll start with this. Oh, short day onions in the south. In the north of the US, they plant long day onions. We need short day onions in the south, or intermediate. But yeah, here, just to show you guys, I think we already looked at this last time, but look so these were the onion seeds. This is what they look like, right? You'll start to notice that all the onion seeds tend to take the same shape. There's this, and then so these are, for instance, short day red onions. Looks all the same, right? And then here, this is this one. This is this one. And then I was going to show you scallions. It also looks the same. Hello, welcome. We're doing onion planting today in the southern US, and even scallions. Look, okay, so the only reason these are green is because Dawn mentioned that these are probably fertilized, which is why they're green. But otherwise, they're black. And they look the same as the other onion seeds that I was just sharing. How do I know, Jackie, so and then these are shallots. See, look, shallots also look very similar, right? Jackie, what were you saying? How do I know what? Yeah, okay, so the thing about planting onions from seed is that this will be my first time growing from seed. Previously, I'd grown from sets. And sets are basically essentially sprouted baby onions. So this year, I'm gonna try it entirely from seed. Okay, hang on, let me answer that in a second. So what I was saying was short day onions, seeds, it'll say on the actual packet itself. So like here, it says, I'm not partial to any particular seed, so that's why I want to hide it. But see how it says short day? On the onion packet itself, it'll tell you whether it's short day, long day, or intermediate. Intermediate means I think it's in between. So if you're kind of in between the northern and southern US climates, you could also grow intermediate day. And it essentially refers to how many hours a day that type of onion needs. So there's that. Yeah, there's that. Oh, Erin, okay. I'm not sure exactly what it is for the UK. I wonder if it's like similar, but you guys also get a lot of rain, so I'm not sure. I'm speaking only for the US, but like I was saying, you can grow, maybe Erin, you can see when would be appropriate to grow from sets just to try that, because that's how I first started. I first started by growing from sets, which, like I was saying, is essentially baby onions. And then once you get the hang of that, there's not a whole lot you do. It's kind of like garlic. Once you plant it, you set it in a spot and then let it grow. Basically, the only thing you really need is space. Oh, I don't need it right now. I'll get that in a second. Yeah, I'm not sure the climate is possibly. Yeah, but these onions and garlic are considered winter crop. These are considered winter crops. So all you really need is, you could set them outside, no greenhouse required, and they will grow. In my area, we do get a little bit of frost and snow sometimes, so I will mulch it, and that's what you should do, especially if you're in northern climates, mulch it well. But otherwise, you should be able to grow garlic and onions outside as long as you have the space. I think that's the biggest thing, having the space, because onions and garlic, they're gonna be close to the surface, right? And they need at least 6 inches of spacing apart. Hello, Juan. Hello, Juan. We were planting onion seeds here. We're in North Texas and getting ready to plant some short day onions here. So we've got some red ones that we're gonna plant, as well as yellow ones that are white. Oh wait, yellow. Was that yellow? Yellow. No. Yellow onions as well. Is this yellow? And if you guys didn't know, there's 3 types of onions you can grow, right? There's the yellow, white, and red. Red, I think you typically eat raw. I would usually put it in a salsa. White supposedly keeps longer than yellow varieties in general. But yellows are also not as pungent as white, right? If you guys have any comments on onions, feel free to share your experiences, but that is what I know about the differences between the 3 varieties. And that's just talking about color. There's obviously nuances in actual varieties that you grow. So like this one, for instance, is called Texas Grano. Jackie, let's see. Aaron, I space allotment. That could work. Excellent, Aaron. Maybe just check. I'm assuming you probably need to plant it around the same time as us, because it still requires a couple months too. Veronica, go. But it still requires a couple months to develop. Jackie, you were saying I planted my grocery store green onion nibs too close together. Oh, okay, Jackie, I think that's okay, because the green onions don't have bulbs at the bottom, do they? So these, I think the 6-inch spacing requirement is specific to any bulbing onions or garlic. That's where you need the at least 6 inches of spacing. All right, so here's what I'm gonna be filling. I like to use this is my new fancy thing that I'm using this year. Before this, I used to just literally get a container, sprinkle my seeds, and hope for the best. Here, I'm trying to be a little bit more methodical and try to get better, sprouting, germination. Veronica, can you please go? You're not allowed to be in my video. Sorry guys, it's fall break here and the kids are home. Nobles, yeah, so Jackie, you're good there. If it's bulbing, I think that's where you really need to follow the spacing requirements. Otherwise, there's no room for your bulbs. All right. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to be filling my little, I forgot what this is called. This is called my, I forgot what it's called. Soil blocker. Okay, so filling my soil blocker. When you plant onion seeds initially, supposedly you don't need a whole lot of space. You just need to get your seeds sprouted and going. So that's what I'm doing here. I am gonna plant them, it says at least 1/2 inch, and I'm gonna use my micro soil blocker to do that. That way I don't have to worry about all the onion roots getting tangled. You gotta fill it well. My soil is already damp, so there's not a whole lot that I need to do with this other than, let me see if I can, Okay, here we go. So this is what I'm doing. I'm essentially pressing all the soil into here to make some well-formed blocks. And then I am going to be using I like to save all my produce containers. They're going to be perfect. I should be able to fit 20, this whole block here in this clamshell. And then this one, I'll be able to fit twice as much. So there'll be 40, one block here, one block here. That is the plan. Let's see, what do we need to talk about? Like I said, onions, like garlic, are winter crop, and they grow outside with little to no protection. That's why I like to grow them. Again, as long as you have the space, it's like, why not? Why not? Why not grow them? Garlic, for instance, I know is supposedly good to deter certain pests. So for instance, you know how I had those mice digging? Well, I planted my garlic and they haven't been digging there. So sometimes people like to interplant garlic with their other vegetables to deter animals from eating them. I don't know. I'm not sure if that works, but hey, it's worth the try, and I've definitely been doing it. And I can tell that the mice don't dig up the garlic bulbs, so that's one reason to do it. Let me know if you guys have any questions or if there's anything I can share. One of the questions that I do get is, what do you do or how do you water it once you've planted them? Like any other seed, you would want to keep it well watered, keep the soil moist. I do have some scallions that I've sprouted, so let me see if I can grab that after we plant this here. So we're planting. Okay, oh, the other thing I want to remind you guys is that when you're planting onions and garlic, you're going to still need full sun. So that means at least 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours of sun is ideal for large bulbs. Just because it's a winter crop does not mean it needs less sun. It needs just as much sun. So your placement, your strategic planting of it is going to be extremely important, or even more important because there's less sun in the winter. So in my case, south-facing area is good and will be year-round. My lawn is facing south, and as some of you guys know, I grow my south-facing lawn, all sorts of things, and it's been really good and prolific this year. And in the wintertime, it is no different. I'm still going to continue to plant out in the front lawn area where I get really good sun. Hello. Jackie, do you have a compost? Yes, I do. I've started a hot compost this year, hopefully. Oh, exciting, Jackie. Yeah, I do compost. My compost, and so my soil mix is a mix of my native soil here, as well as the compost that I make from kitchen scrap. I've been doing it for a couple of years now. I initially tried hot composting. Hot composting means that your pile is using a lot of small microbes that get your pile really hot. Think like 120 degrees Fahrenheit to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Mine, I tried that, but the thing about hot composting is you actually need a large enough pile, at least a 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot pile. So what is that? That's a little bit more than, it's 1 meter plus by 1 meter plus by 1 meter plus size pile in order for it to get hot enough. And because I didn't have that space, so I didn't make a pile that large enough, which is why my piles never got hot enough either. But it did make room for the black soldier fly larvae, which have naturally inhibited my pile, and they are helping me break down my kitchen scraps and dried leaves all at the same time in a matter of just 2 weeks. These guys are universally known, black soldier fly larvae are universally known as serious biomass converters. All right, so I spent some time. So yes, so as you can see in my soil here, I have bits of eggshells in there. Oh, and I recently cut my hair, so yeah, even bits of hair in here, organic matter, right? And I'm going to grab, we'll do this one, this container. Okay, hopefully it's well packed. This is the moment of truth. Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna put this down. Okay. Alrighty, so that's done. So I got what I call my little brownies here. And now, if you guys see, I have little divots in each one of these, right? You'll see there's little divots at the top. Oh, Jackie, you're asking, will it work in a 50-gallon barrel to compost? Is that what you're asking? Yeah, I think that would work as long as you can, yes, continuously hot compost. 50 gallons. Is that enough? I'm trying to think about the cubic. If we did a 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot, that means at least 27. That's 27 cubic feet. I'm not sure how that compares to gallons. Well, let me know. You'll know because in the wintertime, your compost pile will have steam coming off of it, and that's really exciting. That's really cool. Hi, cow. Kong, why do we sleep? We all need sleep so that we can function our best during the day. All right. Yes to compost. Hello, hi. We're here in North Texas planting onion seeds today. First clean your room. We have fall break here and the kids are at home. All right, so here are the onions that I'm gonna plant here. These are, I think, yellow variety onions. Let's see, hey, how can you make a land more fertile? Oh, hi Kong, welcome from Vietnam. I'm here in North Texas. How to make land more fertile? I would say compost. We were just talking about it here. So for each of these, I'm gonna put a seed in each one of these. So there's 20 seed blocks here. No, it needs to be very clean. Okay, so here's a seed. Here's an onion seed. And I'm gonna plant one in each one of these. For little, I guess, Veronica. All right. Kong, what do I sell? We are planting seeds. I'm not selling anything here. We are planting seeds. And this is more of a reminder for anyone who wants to do North Texas fall gardening or just gardening in general. So I'm using the soil blocker. The soil blocker, this is what I was using. This is my new gadget. I have always struggled with seed starting I do it in a very haphazard way. I literally take a container, sprinkle seeds, and hope for the best. But I'm trying to be a little bit more methodical and intentional with the way I plant now, which is why I got one of those little soil blockers. I plant it in each one of these little holes, and I'm going to cover it with a little bit of dirt. Let's see, what are y'all saying? Here the sand is like desert. It needs more. Ooh, yeah. I mean, sand is not a bad quality. It just sounds like you definitely need some compost. So what I like to do is take, and what we were just talking about here is take your kitchen scraps and turn those into compost to make the land more fertile. You'll see here in mine, I've got like eggshells in here. I take all the bell pepper tops, right? The green parts that you don't eat, the stems, and I like to put those in my compost pile. I also enjoy, and then you also have to mix it with some dried bits. So whether you use cardboard or you use dried leaves or dried grass even, any sort of browned material that is not fresh and wet. Let's see. Haidar, the best time to plant a tree was 20. Yep, the second time is now. Yes, Haidar, exactly. The best, yep. Or yesterday, they said. Yep, totally agree. Kong, that is, this one? No, this one is the seed of an onion. Very, very, very small. Okay, this is the seeds of an onion. Very, very, very tiny. Onion, yes. Vermicompost, you like to oh, very cool. I don't vermicompost just because it's a little too slow for the way we throw our kitchen scraps in. I like to do black soldier fly composting. I say I like, but really it was wild black soldier fly larvae that found my compost pile. They are globally known as mass bioconverters. And turn over my pile in about 2 weeks. Very, very efficient. Hi, Tipple. Thank you. I'm Taiwanese American. Thank you. Hi, Kong. Okay, good. I hope you learned something new. Yeah, we do gardening, so growing your own food, but also a little bit of garden to table, cooking, and just getting outside, just inspiring everyone to get outside, get more vitamin D. Jackie, you have a lot of crabgrass in my yard. I pull it out, dry it for a few. Yes, Jackie, that is exactly what I do. Although I try to make sure it's really dry because crabgrass can come back alive. So yeah, yes, that is exactly what I do, Jackie. I love that. You take the stuff that you don't want, dry it out, and turn it into compost. That is exactly what I do. Great idea. Hi, Saga. Awesome, Saga. I hope you learned something new about either growing your own food or garden to table. When I don't have anything growing in the garden, I also do cooking in general. And then, of course, what else do I do? Oh, just getting outside. So in the wintertime, I like to talk about snowboarding, but also just, encouraging everyone to be active, daily movement, vitamin D. All right, so we just planted the onions, and we're going to sprinkle some of the soil on here, just to cover it a little bit, really finely so. Onion seeds are not very big, so only plant as deep as it is wide, which is not very deep at all. I'm gonna scoot that over because we're gonna make a whole batch on the other side here. Yeah, in North Texas here, we are gonna be planting onions from seed for harvest in May, June of next year. Saga, whenever you make a new cooking vid, can you make fried chicken and say, okay, I'll think about that. Or I'm gonna try to remember that. Kong, okay, goodbye, take care. Yes, great, have a good sleep. So important for us to be in a better mood every day and get ready to tackle the day. All right, so I got that there. I want to go ahead and do another one at the same time, so we're gonna do that. Yeah, but I'm so excited to grow onions from seed this year. I think the advantages I read are the seeds are, of course, naturally kind of growing in the area that they'll ultimately be. Any of those sets that you buy in January, I, for instance, have bought them from Callaways at our local Callaways. I've seen them there. I hear other people have to buy online. They're not widely available. Only kind of the niche gardeners know to buy onion sets or care to buy them in January. But like I said, they're basically sprouted onions that are at least pencil thick. So they withstand planting in the ground and snow. That is why people like to buy sets. So you can skip this whole step of seed starting because you do have to baby them a little. And then when they're big enough, actually put them in the ground. Otherwise, if you did it now, in our weather, they would just perish. It's also pretty dry. This is kind of a good way to tend to them while they're small. Saga, you were saying about the fried chicken. I've tried to make fried chicken. It is very labor intensive. If I do ever make it though, I will think of you. Okay, I got some seeds in here that I don't want. Okay, wait. So this, I'm gonna go ahead and water since we're here. I have my watering. And then I just use a little sponge like this, and I just water it like this. This is how I like to water my, can you guys see? Water my onions, just with a gentle water. Jackie, would onions grow in a heavy clay area? Most of my soil is red clay, and I have difficulty growing outside of pots. You should try it, because I didn't do anything to my front yard area before I started planting in it. It was previously grass. The only thing I did do was I mulched it though. I think that was the one thing I did. I mulched it, and mulch, as you know, does slowly break down over time. I would say that's the only thing I did. I didn't amend the soil before planting my onion sets. Like I said, this is the first year I'm going to be starting them from seed itself. Okay, let's see. All right. And for some of these, since some of them are still poking a little bit above the soil, I'm just going to press them in gently, just to make sure that the seeds are submerged in the dirt. Let's get that in there. Yes, yes, yes. Excellent. And hopefully in a few days I'll be able to show they sprouted. I do have some onions, like I said, I mean scallions that I did already start. So I'm hoping to share those. Okay, let me go do that while we're waiting for this. Yes, always give it a shot. Can you send me a good night wish? Wish you a good sleep, Con. Yeah, sleep is one of those really important things. It's a good mood regulator, right? You want to make sure you have plenty of energy for the next day and are in a good mood to tackle it all. Good night, best wishes, and catch you next time. Take care. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna walk over to where I have some of that scallions started. I like to start my seeds outside. I don't like soil in the house, so I am just finding, it's about 85 degrees here in North Texas today, but this is my situation. I literally just put them in a shaded area like this. Is it the best? No. Could it be better? Yes. And where are my scallions? Let's see. Scallions. Here we are. I should probably cover them a little bit more to provide a little bit more shade, but it's okay. In this spot, they get filtered sun. All right, so here are my scallions. So I said scallions on it. This is what they'll start to look like. Scallions, onions, they kind of all grow the same way. Ah! All right. Okay, so see? It almost looks like baby grass, right? You'll see this is how it's growing. From that onion seed is growing scallions. So I got 1, 2, oh, I think there's one in the back. 3, 4, 5. So I got a few that have already gone ahead and sprouted. This is what your onions will look like as well. Yeah, aren't they cute? But can you imagine? This needs to grow to the size, I'm gonna walk over back to where we were. This needs to grow to the size of a pencil. So it's gonna take a couple of weeks. When they're a little bit bigger, I'm gonna transplant them to a bigger situation. But for now, these have just sprouted. And so I am going to leave them in this container here. Hang on. Let's see. I'm flipping guys back around. Plug back in here. All right. Sorry, that was probably dizzying. And it should no longer be dizzying from here on out. I got situated. Okay. Oops. All right, so yeah, as I was showing you guys, here are the sprouted onions. Yeah, you'll even see the little exterior of the seed is still showing there. Exciting. I wonder where's okay, well, there's one down here. Oh, there's one down here. I'm gonna get it out. It's like stuck. Oh, here it is. I'm gonna get it planted, otherwise I don't know how much longer it's gonna last. It's just like sitting out there by itself. All right. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. Let me see what else. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot that you do. Like, I guess if you had planted it more closely, unlike in a block where you could easily separate the roots, you would need to thin it out. But I am using the micro soy blocker really to avoid that, so I can avoid having to thin stuff out, because that to me is just a potential onion that you just tossed away, right? So I am trying to use a micro blocker to really maximize my germination rates. I'm gonna put that in the dirt. Okay, perfect. Maximize my germination rates and yeah, get more bang from a seed packet. Hello Novik. You still? Yay! Oh, okay, good, Nov. Good to see you again. Yeah, we're planting onions today in North Texas, specifically from seed. This will be my first time planting onions from seed. Onions, scallions, and shallots, all of those are in the onion family, and their seeds look very similar. So even though this is technically a scallions, you'll see scallions seed because I wrote scallions on it. The seeds look exactly the same to the onion, so I was just kind of previewing what you should expect when your onions sprout. All right, so these are looking good. Okay, and now I'm gonna start one more soil block of that same one. I'm gonna call it, let's see, here we are. Ooh. Here, oh, and I'm gonna label it before I forget. So we're gonna go ahead and label the onions. Got this permanent marker here. This is, I think it's yellow onion, so I'm gonna call it short day. Let's see if I can write backwards. S short, oh, I'm pretty good. I'm writing it upside down, just so you guys can, short day. Did I do that right? Yeah, day, writing upside down. Yellow, onion. And then I'm gonna put it in the start date just so I remember it. What is today's date? 10, oh, almost wrote that backwards. 10, what's today's date? 10, 12, 13? A 13, a 1. Ah, wrote it backwards, 3. Okay. Nice. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do one more block and plant it, put it right here. Can you guys see this? Okay. Whew. 13, thank you. Okay, I got that. So I put 1013 on it, if you guys can see. Did I do that good? Short day, yellow onions. Onion. Okay, yeah, most part, that was pretty good. Anyway, so doing one more block of it. Let me know if you guys have any other things. Like I was saying earlier, onions and garlic are a great winter crop. There's not a whole lot you need to do. You don't need to put them in a greenhouse. If anything, if it gets really cold in your climate, and actually we're only talking about the southern US right now anyway, which would plant short day onions, you would just need to mulch it at best. But it can withstand frost as well as temperatures below freezing as well. Like in my area, we get to 20 degrees Fahrenheit some winters, and I've been able to grow garlic and onions just fine. I don't have to protect them excessively. So they're pretty great for, like if you already have space in your garden, that is something you should definitely be growing anyway. Because come wintertime, most everyone's not growing a whole lot, right? If you are, it's in a greenhouse. So if you've got the space, you might as well grow onions and garlic. And on top of that, they say onions and garlic are great for companion planting because your pests don't like them as well. So another reason to plant onions and garlic. They do require a couple months of time though. So onions in this case, you'll plant them now from seed. In January, when they're about pencil thick, you'll put them in the ground because that's when they'll be strong enough to withstand. Although for Texas, I've heard people plant them directly in the ground. I think it is possible, especially in Texas, like the really mild climates. But I am personally doing it like this because I don't have the space in the ground yet for onions. So I'm gonna do it like this, and when real frost comes and kills off a lot of the stuff, I am then going to have more space. So really, I'm doing this here to keep a better eye on them, but also keep to keep a better eye on my little onion seeds, but also to buy me time because I don't quite have the space yet for them. Oops. Practice makes perfect, Jackie. Yep. It's legible, barely legible. Let me know if you guys have any questions about growing onions. Like I said, I am in North Texas and starting onions from seed. It'll be my first year growing from seed. Historically, I've always bought onion sets, which are basically baby onions that have sprouted about a pencil thick and are more robust to transplant. And you can buy those at the store in January, at least in North Texas is when you would buy them. And you can then plant those in your garden and watch them grow from January to May or June when you harvest them. All right, I'm filling up the second batch here. What else should I share? Again, like there's not a whole lot you gotta do for onions. You just literally give it the space and time to grow. Um, Again, when you're seeding, obviously keep it well watered as you would with most other seeds. But otherwise, not a whole lot that you need to do for onions aside from watch them grow and have the space for it. If you are planting them, and I would just say kind of be strategic about where you're planting them, because once they've started growing, like from January onwards, you don't want to disturb the roots like you wouldn't for any of your root or bulb crops, right? These grow underground, and any of your root or bulb crops will struggle a little bit if you have to move them. So do be a little bit strategic about where you plant them. You could plant them, like I said, because they deter pests, you can plant them on the borders of your bed, right? That would be a great area to plant them, on the borders of your bed. Or anywhere where you want to deter pests. Truthfully, I don't know how effective it is, but I just know that the mice are not digging in the garlic that I planted, so better something than nothing. All right, so I got my soil block. It is formed. I plant it here, press it in well. I have moist soil. That's how I'm able to do the soil block. Here's what it looks like. It makes 20 cells, and I'm using my clamshell because I like to reuse recycled stuff and not have to buy new. And with that, oops, that makes another set of 20 brownies with little divots at the top of them. Ooh, I got an earwig in here. That I can then put onion seeds in. All right, here we go. I'm gonna do this, like I said, the same variety of onions. It is Onion Short Day, Texas Grano. And in case you guys are wondering, this says, onions are a cool season crop and can withstand temperatures well below freezing. They may be planted from seeds from small bulbs called sets or from transplants. Seeds cost the least but take longer before onions are ready. When seeding onions for bulbs, plant them 1/4 inch deep during October through December. Plant the seeds 1 inch apart. Yeah, this is about 1 inch apart. When the plants are about 6 inches high, thin them one plant to every 2 to 3 inches. Eat the extra plants as green onions. Okay. If you use sets of transplants, plant them 3 to 4 inches deep and 3 inches apart. Don't transplant onions more than 1 inch deep. Okay. All right. Anyways, Jackie, you're saying, I heard a thing the other day that hasn't left my mind. I think you'll like it too. Every day I check my garden because every day. Yes, I do love that, Jackie, and that is so true. There's always new stuff growing. Like the okra, especially that okra. If you don't watch that okra, it gets old on you really quick. Yes, there's always something new, and there's always new visitors all the time. They're always, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, everything's new. There's a new flower that's opening every day. That's beautiful, Jackie. All right, so I'm getting 20 of these seeds because I just made 20 soil blocks right there. And, okay, we're gonna put it here. 1 per divot, let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna lower it just so you guys can see. Putting in the divot. Let's zoom in. Putting it in here. Perfect. And then I am, oops, actually put 2 in that one. I also do have a pair of, I have a pair of tweezers, which I would use. Okay, got it out. These onion seeds are relatively large compared to the, oops, I just put another one in that same spot. That's silly. All right, all right. Oh, I got some seeds in there that I didn't want, but that's okay. Let me know if you guys have any questions or any additional thoughts about growing onions. That one's probably gonna sprout, but that's okay. I'll just pull out that green when it grows. That is if anyone's curious, that's a winter melon seed. It looks like a watermelon, but it's not. It's a winter melon. It's a vegetable that's eaten in Asian, it's a melon that's eaten like a vegetable in Asian cuisine. Very mild, high in water content, and it's one of the vegetables that my mom gave me as a seedling. So I planted it in my garden, and it's given me over 150 pounds of winter melon. All right, so I'm planting, going back to onion seeds. I got some onion seeds here that I'm planting. Okay, almost done. 19 and 20. All right, okay. Put the red stuff. I'm gonna turn this upside down. Yeah, Jackie, so that's where I was saying with the winter melon, you, as soon as you cut it, you share it with everybody, you know. So that's where I was like, that particular one, I shared with my parents as well as the neighbor. Basically anyone that will eat winter melon, you should just share it. I did also, I think the last time I cut it, I did also end up cooking and freezing it into like chunks of cubes that I would eat kind of like a slushy. It's basically like it's like a beaver pop, but using winter melon and brown sugar. So that is one of the ways that I also eat it fairly quickly. As you know, in Texas, it's still like 85 degrees here, so it's like the perfect cold treat on a hot winter day, on a hot fall day, fall afternoon, and I'll drizzle a little bit of lemon or lime on it just to give it that extra flavor. All right, so I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of soil on the top here. Oh, another winter melon seed made it in here. Ah, bye. All right, sprinkle the leaves on here. Just a little bit of dirt to cover it. Hot water, yeah, we do have, well, I think it was last Christmas, we had like 75 degrees. It was 75 degrees on Christmas Day. What was I saying? Oh, and so winter melon, but winter melon is one of those cool vegetables, kind of like a pumpkin, where it does store through winter when it's matured. Hence the name winter melon, because it stores through the winter. So there's one in the garden that I've yet to harvest, and when I do, I'm just going to store it in the garage, and then when we're ready to eat it, cut it open and just share it. Okay, what was I doing? I wanted to, press some of these gently into the soil here. Put these gently into the soil here. Hope everyone's having a great day. Feel free to chime in, say hi. I am planting onion seeds here today in North Texas. It'll be my first time planting onion seeds from seed. I have historically only planted them from sets, which are essentially sprouted baby onions that are about an inch thick. I mean, a pencil thick. And I am just pressing these in here. Ooh. Here we go. Ooh. Hope everyone, let's see, let's get this. Ooh. All right, I'm just gonna stop touching it because the seeds are so black, it's a little hard to see what's going on. I'm just gonna water it and then see what comes up. I like to use a little sponge for gentle watering in my little container here. And yeah, okay. So there we go. It's my little, I've got potentially 40 onions started in here. And this is a cute little clamshell. This used to be for blueberries. I put the day on it. So short day yellow onions, 10-13. Hi, One Buffet. Good. Hope you guys are having a lovely Monday. We're starting onions from seed here. Specifically, these are yellow short day onions because we're in the southern US. And that is the variety that will grow well for us here. In the north, you guys would grow what is it, long day onions. And then if you're kind of in the middle of the US where you experience not too cold of winters, but not too hot of summers either, you would be growing intermediate day onions. All right, yay. And then just as a reminder for those of you that might have joined, hi, Luana. Ah, thank you, thank you. So we were just planting onions, and now these are what I just wanted to show you. These are technically scallions, but they grow the same way. Scallions, onions that grow similarly. You'll see I have the black seed. It's still attached to the sprout of this. And this is what you should expect in a couple of days. It'll start to sprout, almost like really fine grass. These are my scallions. You'll see I labeled it scallions. I should start putting dates on these. But yeah, so these are these. This is what we have to look forward to in June. And in case anyone's curious about the timeline, so we plant them now, and in May or June of next year is when we'd harvest them. There is a little bit of up potting required, right? So they're going to grow really fine like this, but eventually they'll get to pencil thick. Gosh, you guys, we're going to have to celebrate when we get there, because did you see how fine they are? It's going to be a long time growing before they get to pencil thick. Hey, look at this. Look how tiny that is. This is over, I think, about a week ago is when I started these. So we're going to have to celebrate when they get to a pencil inch thick, especially if I still manage to keep them alive. Okay. In January, when they get a pencil inch thick, I'm going to plant them in ground, because at that time they'll be especially hardy, and by that time my beds should also be completely ready as well. Hi, Lana. Oh, yay. Okay, excellent. We're talking about bulbing onions today, but you know what? I just showed scallions as well, which is not a bulbing onion. You harvest it for green onion tops, right? But yes, that's what we're talking about today. Oh, is this the time to grow onions? Yes, yes, it is the time. If you wanted to start onions from seed, this would be the month that you start growing from seed. And then January is when you would then, if you weren't able to grow them from seed, you could buy sets, which are basically sprouted onion seeds that are an inch thick. And you could go ahead and plant those in ground as well if seeds don't end up working out. Jackie, thank you. Aren't they adorable? Good luck to me keeping this alive. It's like 85 degrees here, and it will be for the rest of this week too. Little let's see, where buddy. Hello, MK for life. Thank you for joining us. We're just talking about onions here today, planting them. And I just showed what we did was I'm gonna be wrapping in 5 minutes, but just to recap what we did in today's live, we planted these onions, so short day onions. In the southern US, you would plant short day onions. If you were in the north US, you would plant long day onions. And if you were somewhere in the middle, you would plant intermediate day onions. And this is when October is when you would go ahead and start them from seed. This will be my first time starting from seed. If you wanted to grow them but not bother with seed, in January is when you would be able to buy sets. I have personally found them locally at Callaway's in my area, but I also do live in a more urban area. And you can then plant those in January as transplants. Those little shoots that I was showing you in January will become an inch thick, or not an inch thick, pencil inch thick. That's not a word. Pencil thick. So pencil, right? Pencil thick. Can you imagine? Like, look how fine they are now. Hopefully I'll be able to keep these alive, and in January of next year, show you guys transplanting those in ground. If that fails, I'll just go buy them from the store. But yeah, here we are, 40 of them in here. Good luck, babies. Grow well. So these were what we planted. But scallions would grow similarly, although scallions won't be able to withstand freezing temperatures like your bulbing onions would, because those are growing underground, right? And then I'll probably also be starting shallots. Shallots looks to have like a shorter harvest time, but I'm gonna do a similar thing here for shallots. I also have some red onions that I'll also be starting as well. They're also short day onions. These are yellow ones, and I'll be starting red ones. Are you planting anything else during the season? Great question, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffet. I have also, for fall garden stuff, I've been kind of posting a lot about that as well. But I've started a lot of brassicas, so those are already sprouted. Right now we're just focused more on the winter crops, which are garlic and onions for me in my area that gets frost and freezing temps. Of course, if you're even more south of me, well then you guys can grow all sorts of things, not just garlic and onions. In terms of Worm Buffet, if you're also asking about what's growing right now, eggplant's growing right now in the garden. What else do I have? Watermelons are kind of finishing up. Um, Okra, I've got fall okra going strong. I have some kale that I planted from seed that's really now starting to grow in. I think it's kale. Yeah, I think it's kale. Um, yeah. And other things that I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, cantaloupe is kind of wrapping up as well. What else do I got out there? I still have some Egyptian spinach out there, which I haven't bothered to harvest in a while. It's like spinach, but it's slimy when you cook it up, kind of like okra. If you don't take preparation to cook it or to get the slimy out. It is possible to get the sliminess out. I have yet to try that method though. There's a way to like crush it to get the sliminess out before you cook it, and it gets rid of the slimy texture. My okra is starting to fade. So, oh, Jackie, that's probably because it gave you a lot. My okra are literally like just starting now to give me fruit. So, come frost is probably when there'll be time to wrap up. Warren Buffet, I need to make some garden beds. All I have are peppers at this moment. Oh, how exciting. Have a good day, Lana. Okay, great. Have a great fast. Or have a great breakfast. I'm gonna be wrapping up here in 2 minutes as well. Warm Buffet, I need to make some garden beds. All I have are peppers at this one. How exciting. Warm Buffet, are you in, I guess in a warm climate, I guess? That's what I see people post about right now. It's like everyone, even people up north, there's like, it's lots of peppers. It is pepper season right now. It's peppers happening. You're right, I do also have peppers, but my peppers are still green. Some of them are just starting to turn, but most of them are still green. Oh, you're in South Texas. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Yeah, it'd be nice to break it up. In South Texas, you can grow so much. Like, I hear you guys can grow tomatoes still. That's nice. I could grow tomatoes in a greenhouse and probably not worth it. I'm just going to focus on cool weather crops for me. But yes, follow, yeah. Okay. Alrighty, so these, I don't like to put soil in my house, but these I'm gonna be putting in a shaded area underneath my cattle panel trellis that I have going. Done, check. Hope to show you guys updates in weeks to come. And when they grow too tall for this, which they probably will, I didn't think about that, huh? I should have gotten a container that was taller. Whoops. Oh well. Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys for joining me today. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. You guys take care, and we'll be in touch. Take care, be well, and we'll connect soon. I'll probably have more gardening videos. I need to think of the next topic for Wednesday. Maybe we'll go back to garlic again since that was such a popular topic. I may cover that on Wednesday's live, garlic. But if not, Wednesday, same time, we'll be talking something fall gardening related. Yay! Okay, Warm Buffet. Thank you. Catch y'all soon. Everyone take care. Have a lovely one. Bye-bye. Be well.